Hi guys, welcome to session 5. Today I am going to be working with color. One of the things I love most about Illustrator is working with color swatches and creating new swatches and building up a whole library of new colors. I love that. Okay, but before we get to the actual exercise, I just quickly want to get you to a document again. I've had questions about, ma'am, how do I actually get a document open again? That's fine. We did that in session 1, so you can refer to your manual, but I'll just quickly run over it again. When you open Adobe Illustrator, this is what your screen will look like, except you won't have these bottom ones because those are my recent files. Here, you go to Create New. So you click on Create New. It will take you to this screen for your document setup. I'm going to be working on an A5. I want to work with print because at the end I want to print my document. A4. I'm going to set my bleed to 3, but it doesn't really matter. You don't have to do that right now. It's up to you if you want to bleed or not. So you can just leave that blank if you want to. But the most important part is put it on print and put it on A4 and just say create then. That's fine. Don't stress about the bleed or anything right now. Okay, and then you're in your document. If you cannot see this top part, I'm just going to say this again. This top part is your control panel. Some of you have asked me why you can't see yours when you open Illustrator. It's very simple. If you cannot see something and you need to see it, you go to Window. Most of your panels and tools are under Window, and you can find it over here. It's at the top. So my control has been ticked, meaning that it's active. That's why I can see this part. If yours is not ticked, this is what your screen will look like, so you won't be able to see your control panel. You just go to Window and you click on Control, and the control panel will be visible. Okay, awesome. So today, as I said, we're going to be working with color. There's a couple of ways to work with color. I'm going to probably be jumping around and working with color the way that I normally work with it when I'm busy with a document. The first way that you can do it is by simply clicking here on your fill or your stroke. It depends on what you're working with at the moment. Double click on your fill and it will open your color picker window for you. In your manual, there's a section that talks about your color picker and it names every section of it for you. In other words, this little section over here is what we call the color field. Then you have your color spectrum over here. You have things like your new color rectangle. You'll see that it changes if I change here, but I'm going to go through that now. This is your new color. This is your existing color. I'm not going to go through all the names of all of these little panels. You can read up about them in your manual. But when you have a question for me, please refer to the names in your manual so that I know exactly where you are at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to go back quickly. You double click here on your color field, which at the moment should be white. That opens your color picker. The first way that you can change the color here is by simply clicking and dragging your mouse over this area. That would only allow you to now work within a red, dark red, black, gray, and white spectrum. It won't allow you any other color because that's what your setting is currently on. So you can drag around in here. This is what the color would be that you are going to select. If you want to change this whole area's spectrum color, you can either click on the sides here, on the little arrows on the side of your color spectrum, and drag it up until you get to the color spectrum that you want. So let's say you want to work with blues, then you can drag around in here as well to find your blues. Or alternatively, you can click on this color spectrum to change your color spectrum on this side. Okay, and then you can move around in here again. Here you will see you have lots of different codes or abbreviations or things like that. In your manual, there's a whole separate page that speaks about RGB CMYK. I've touched on that already when I did lesson 1, I think with the document setup, or session 2, I can't remember now. I've spoken about RGB, which is your red, green, and blue, which is for your on-screen design. I've spoken about CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and your key color, which is black, which is for printing. Sometimes when you're designing or when you're making an artwork, you have a very specific color that you want to include into your artwork. And most of these colors come with codes. Each color for printing or for online design has a code. If you've been given the code, you can simply enter it over here. So let's say 3578. That's not really a code. Whoops, it is. Okay. That's not really a code that I have. It's just something I made up. And that code belongs to this color. Okay, it's actually a really beautiful color. I should remember that. Anyway, or you could have the amounts of, or the percentages of cyan, magenta, yellow, or your key color, which is black. So you can go here and you could say 5. It already starts changing. 10, 72. And that would give you this color. It's actually a very trendy color at the moment. Okay, so if you press enter, it would immediately go out and it would be here as part of your fill color, and then you can use it. Okay, I'm just going to go back to our screen. So I'm just going to repeat. You can either use your color picker over here, so your what you call your color field. You can drag your little circle around your color field to find the color that you want. Or you can go onto your color spectrum over here, drag the arrows up and down to find the color spectrum that you want to work in. You can click on your color spectrum to change the colors, or you can add your code at the bottom if you have a very specific code for the color that you want to use, or you can change your amount in the CMYK section or in the RGB section if you have that code. So that's your color picker. That's the different ways in which you can change by using the color picker section. Okay, I really don't want to work with that color. I'm just going to change it to like a blue like that. And then once you're done, you just say okay. And then it's changed up here and it's changed there. And then that is the color that you will be working on or working with. So if you go to a shape now and you draw a shape, the shape will be that color. Okay, I'm actually going to leave the shape here. Maybe we can make use of it. The other way that you can work with color, and this is my favorite way, I don't actually use the color picker that often, is again under window where you find pretty much everything. You can just scroll down a bit. Don't go for color over here. That's not what we want to work with. You're going to go down, scroll down a little bit, and you will find swatches. That will open your color swatches. Yours will not look like mine, probably not look like mine. I've made many changes to my color swatches. I've tried to take it back as far as I can to the normal one or the essential one or whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's start from the top, or actually from the bottom. This is your swatch library menu. You can go click on it. This has like preset colors in it. So I'm just going to, just for argument's sake or for interest sake or just to show you what it looks like, click on art history and click on impressionism. Okay, it will open a separate little window. These are preloaded colors for you guys. It's really good to work with color spectrums that have been put together already if you have little knowledge about color, because the colors that have been put together work together. There are things like color trends out there, like fashion trends, like music trends, all of that. There's also color trends. These presets normally follow color trends. They're easy on the eye, they work really well together, they complement each other. Okay, so if you can, make use of these. Okay, so this would be an example of impressionism. So I now say I really like this color. Okay, I'm going to just drag it over onto here. It adds it right there. And now I also like the purple. I'm going to add it over there. I also like the blue. I'm going to add it there. Another one. And another one. Okay, these are all the colors I've added now. I'm going to close my Impressionism one. That color has already been selected. I'm going to hold in Shift. I'm going to go to the end of the colors that I love and that I've created now. All of these colors are now selected. I really like them. I'm going to go to the bottom here and I'm going to group them. I'm going to call them my Impressionism 2 group. Okay, then I say, okay, now they're all grouped really nicely for you over here, and you can make use of them over and over again. Let's say I create another shape, and I want to make use of that color and that shape. I create another shape, I'm using that color, and so on. So you can just go and click on your swatches if you want to change a color. Okay, so these are the three that I'm making use of at the moment. You can also select your group and save the swatches. So you can go and save the swatch as an external file on your computer if you want to make use of it later on. I never do this, but it is an option in Illustrator. If you want to send someone a color swatch, this is how you would make use of it. If you want people to design something and you only want them to make use of these colors. I am the designer, so I would be sent this. I wouldn't send it to someone else. So I never make use of that. So that's absolutely fine. We've made a new group. We've added all our colors over here. We can work with them. My absolute favorite part of the color swatch panel is the color themes panel. You click on it. It's right here at the bottom over here. Normally, it would take a little bit of time to load because this is an online thing. So when you click on it the first time, just allow it to load first. Now these are all Adobe color themes that have been done on the internet. People can add extra themes if they want to. These are all the most popular ones. So over here, it shows me most popular. There's a drop down that says all themes. Just be careful, that loads a lot of themes for you and it becomes really distracting. Published themes, so you see it says my published themes. That would only happen, you'd only have something here if you have published your own themes. And then you can have most used would be ones that are very regularly used in Illustrator. I put mine on most popular always because I love the color themes that are in here. Okay, so people would then go and name their color themes and you can go through theirs and select theirs. Okay, these are really beautiful. I'm going to choose one. Okay, so you can then just click on your three little dots over here and you can go add to swatches and it would immediately add it to your swatches panel over here. Okay, I can go to this one, add to swatches. Let's get a little bit darker one. Add to swatches. Okay, so now they would all be available for you to use in your swatches panel over here. Click on your shape, change it. Click on your shape, change it. If you want to, just change the stroke of your shape. You can just change it here. We're now working with the stroke. Click on the purple and it will change your stroke color. I'll make the stroke thicker so you can see what happens. Purple, pink, mustardy color, light blue. That's because your stroke has been selected over here. That's how you change the color. If you want to change the inside again, just select the inside and then you can go and change the color on the inside. Okay, so you can play around with all of those. Okay, awesome. I'm just quickly going to look at your manual to make 100% sure I've covered what I need to cover for you guys. Okay, cool. So now if you have this little group and you found that you don't really use it that often, I'm just going to close my themes over here. I find I never use this. I don't want it on my swatches panel anymore because Believe me, your swatches panel can get really long and complicated if you love collecting colors. So you don't like this anymore, you simply go to the little trash can over here and you delete it. Delete swatch selection, yes, it will delete the whole group. One color, deleted, delete the swatch selection, yes, it will only delete the one group. Here is your new swatch, so you can click on it. Just please note that if you click on new swatch, it's going to immediately go to the color that you are currently on. Okay, so I'm quickly going to open a document or a picture actually. Okay, so let's say you found a picture on the internet that you really love. Ugh, sorry guys. Let me just separate my documents. Okay, so I really love this document, the colors of this design. So I go to my color picker tool and I pick this color. It then immediately changes the color over here. Okay, that means that I'm now working with this color. If I want to add this color to my swatches, I go new swatch. It will go to that color and I can say, okay, I'm going to click on the blue. It selects that color, new swatch, okay. Click on this, new swatch, okay. I'm just going to get a couple of colors together for us. Okay, awesome. Now all of these colors have been added to your swatches. Okay. Sorry, I'm just quickly checking something. Okay, cool. They've all been added to your swatches, so you can go and make use of them there. As before, you can go and group them together, so you can call them, I love this. That's your group's name. Okay. Then while this is selected, you can go to the bottom of your swatches here, and that will say add selected swatches and color groups to my current library. So yours won't have all of this, okay, because I have been building up a library. This is not my actual library. My actual library is way more filled with colors. Okay, but it adds your I love this to your color library. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to do that again. On the swatches, you've made all your colors. You've gotten them from your picture by using your color picker. You go to the bottom over here. It says add selected swatches. I'm just going to do it again. Choose different colors maybe. So I'm going to go for that blue. New swatch. Okay. That color. New swatch. Okay. That's new swatch. Okay, so that's my little group. I'm going to group them together, call them new swatch, say okay. There they are. I want to put them in my library. I put them in my library. Here they are, new swatch. Okay, awesome. So now when I go out of this document, no, I don't want to save it. Do you notice that I don't have access to those colors on my actual swatches panel in this document? It's because I've only created those colors for that document. So if I want to access my library colors, I go to Window, Libraries, and then it opens my libraries, all the colors I've saved and gotten together for myself to design with is in my libraries. Now I can make use of these colors. Oh, I have to select a shape, sorry, within this document that I got from the previous document. Okay, I hope that makes sense for you guys. Please remember you can watch this video over and over until you are familiar with how the color swatches panels work. Okay, that's pretty much it for color swatches. or that is pretty much what you will need. In your manual, there's all the terminology is in your manual. There's pictures with where to find what. Please make use of your manual as well as the videos so that together it will make sense for you guys. Try to practice it as well. This was your basic working with colors and color swatches only, how to group them, how to create a new color swatch, how to add colors to a color library. There's more things like patterns. We are not going to be working with patterns at the moment, so that is something we can look at later on. We're also not going to be working with gradients at the moment. When we get to gradients, I will have a separate section or a separate tutorial on gradients, and if it's necessary, then also on patterns and things like that. But you guys are not going to be using that. So that's it for session 5, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you practice your session and get familiar with color swatches. See you in the next session.